Welcome to another video. If you're new here, thanks for watching. Hope you stick around. In the previous video of this React Native series, we had a look at components and props in React Native. So continuing from where we left off, I've opened up the application, head over to the sign up page here. So if you can remember, we added some validation to our form. And whenever there's an error on the form, we have this pop-up that comes up here. So what we left out is actually the messages. So if we go back to our code, for example, we have the pop-up coming up if the form is empty and if the passwords do not match. But then we don't have any messages that actually show up to tell the user what error they're specifically facing. So today we're just gonna apply some styling to our prompts. And we'll do that by firstly exporting these icons here. So we'll need these two icons. Let me just copy them here. Okay. And I'm just going to enlarge them so that I can get a higher res. So that I can get a higher resolution for the icons in the app. And then we'll go ahead and export this. Firstly, let's create, I think we should have a folder with our assets. Okay, so we already do have a folder with assets and everything. So let's go ahead and export these two. Then we'll navigate to our images folder in our application, which is assets, images, and export. Firstly, let's say web. Okay. And then I think we should rename these. Let's just navigate to the folder. Okay, we can delete these. I'll just keep these ones here. Okay. So in our form error component, let's go ahead and import this error image that we just added to our assets. Okay, so we can remove this. Then we'll have to import image. So to the React Native documentation. I always keep forgetting how to actually import images in React Native. And so we can just copy this code here from the documentation. Okay. And we paste it in. Okay. Then we can remove the style for now. We don't even have that. Oh, let's rather maybe just add it. We'll have an empty style for now. Okay. And then here we can import our image from assets, images, and error.png. Okay, let's see, quite big. Let's give it a width of, let's see, how big is it? 72 pixels. Same for the height. Okay, and then our main view here, which is our overlay, we're just going to have to add some flexbox to that. Let's say display and flex, and then we'll have to align everything in the center. Is it align items or justify items? Okay, there we go. I guess we can justify items as well. Or justify content. Okay, cool. Now let's go back to our signup.js file. So what we'll need to create now is a state that will contain the error message. So here, where we're updating display form error, we'll just need to create a state as well, or update a state rather, called form error message. So let's create that. We'll call it error message, set error message. Okay, by default it will be an empty string, and then let's go into this line here. Let's see, can I add right next to it? Okay, so if our form is empty, we'll just say set error message to please fill in all fields. Okay. And then if passwords do not match, we'll just say passwords do not match. And then we'll pass form error as well as a prop in our form error component here. Call it error. And we'll just say error message. Okay. And then we'll just have a text just beneath the image there. And then we'll call props.error. Okay, let's see how that comes out. Color. Styles.error text or message. Okay. Let's see if that works. Still nothing. Did we pass it? Okay, let's see. Okay, what did we miss? Oh, I think it might be the return. Okay, let's do this. Yep, I think our set message wasn't being executed after the return statement there. So let's just put everything in curly brackets. Okay. Okay, that should do it for us. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Please fill in all fields, and then let's just style our text. Let's see, how should it look? There was an issue. So okay, so this is for sign in. Font size 20. Let's add a margin top as well. Perhaps 20 as well. Okay, please fill in all fields. And if we type in our name, we'll type in everything but leave out the passwords. It should say passwords do not match. Let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, passwords do not match. And then so currently we have this what is it called, on backdrop press. So when the user clicks on the backdrop, it hides the overlay. So maybe we can also add a button as well, this OK button here, so that if the user clicks OK, then it does pretty much the same thing. So to do that, can just import touchable opacity. Touchable opacity, okay. And then we'll have our text in there that says okay. And I think we can maybe use the same styling for the button here, but just make it slightly smaller. So we'll get that from our signup.js file. Okay, styles.button. Where is that? Okay, this here. Then we'll just make it smaller. Let's see, 280. 280. And height is 51. Okay. Background color, we'll make it black. Border radius, make it 5. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Oh, we didn't add it here. Style equals styles.button. Okay, then we can just make our text white. We'll call it button text. Okay. Then give it a white color. Yeah, and that should be it. Maybe font size. Oh, wait. Okay, that's 20, that's 16. I think that should be the default. Okay, I think it should be fine. And then we'll add an on press, which will be pretty much the same method here. Okay, and there we go. So now what we need as well, we should catch an error. So if the user is not created in Firebase, we should show an error as well. Okay, catch. And I think we should get the error message. Let's just console log what we get there. Okay, so now I'm gonna try and fill in everything, but I'm gonna pretty much try and sign up using the same email of one of the users that we already have here. We should have 2 users that we created in the previous videos. So I'll try and just create a user with the same email and see if it will return any issues. Okay, so we already have a joeytest.com. I'm going to try and sign up with that and see what it gives me. Let's just change that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it says error, the email is already in use by another user. It should be, let's see, error.message. Okay, yeah, so Firebase will return error, and then the actual text will be error.message. So this can also be our error message that will pass along to the prop, what is this, from error property. So we'll just say set error message. Oh boy. Okay, error message. P error dot message. Okay. Is that correct? Okay, set error message. Let me just see. Okay, and then we should also display our pop-up, and for that it will be set display form error. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Okay, so it says the email address is already in use by another account. Then let's just maybe align this center as well. So it's text align center. Okay, yeah, and that should work. There we go. Okay, so now if everything is actually okay, the form is valid, what we should have instead, so yeah, once we actually validated the form and everything's okay, we should have a loader that loads, and then while it's loading, we register our user. So to do that, let's first see. Let's first create a state that will contain our success message. Okay, use state. By default, it will be empty. And then we'll also need a state. Let's see. Call it loading, or is loading. Set is loading. Okay, by default, we'll make that false. Okay, cool. And then what we should have now, okay. Let's see. Let's first get the loading indicator from the React Native documentation. Okay, activity indicator. And this is imported from React Native. Okay. Okay, that should do it. Let's take that one. Actually, this should be in our form success component. Let's just move that. Okay. So let's say by default, we'll have a activity indicator. Okay, let's add this to our return. Size, we'll have large. Okay, it's large, and then the color. We'll take this blue here. Okay. So let's see if our user is okay. if the user is being created, let's just say set loading to true, and then we'll hide it here when our form error appears. Set is loading to false. Okay, and then let's see how we do this. Okay, let's first start with the loading indicator. So is loading equals to true, then we return form success. Okay. So what should happen now, if there are no errors and the user is being created, set loading will be true, and then it should only be hidden if there's actually a form error. So for now, let's say there's a delay in actually verifying our user's email. So we'll try and create another user with the same email that already exists, joey at test.com. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5. Oh. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so we have a pop-up there. So what should happen while it's still verifying the email with Firebase, we should have a loading indicator that appears, and that for some reason is not an overlay. Okay, so we just need to get the overlay. Okay, and we should pretty much get, and just copy that. What am I missing here? Okay. And can remove that method for now. Then just copy the styling. Let's first get style sheet. Okay. Then we'll just need the overlay styling for now. Okay, so what should happen when the user takes sign up, by default we'll have our loader, and then if there's actually an error that appears, then it will display the error. And then if the user is successful, I guess we should pass a few props. Let's see how we do this. Okay, so if it's actually successful, the user has been created, we'll just say set success message to, okay, your account has been created. Okay, set loading should be false. Okay, set loading should be false. Right. But now, as you can see, if we don't have anything loading, we don't have nothing displayed. So in this case, we'll just need to check if there's actually a success message. So that means we'll need to check success message. Okay, so if success message equals to your account has been created. So this could have been a different state saying maybe user account has been created. Perhaps a Boolean variable would be much better. So just to check whether the user account has been created, and that state would be either be a true or false. So in this case, I'll just use the text for now. So success message equals to your account has been created. Then we pretty much return from success again. And then here we'll pass in success message equals, and this can be okay, success okay. And if our message is still empty, then we return nothing. So now what should happen, we'll need to get our props here. Now we'll need to have another if statement here. So firstly, let's check if there's actually a success message. Or rather, let's say props dot, if we do pass any props in this case, so if we have anything called success message, okay, we'll return, okay, so we'll still return an overlay, but oh, okay. Okay, so if we have a success message, we remove the activity indicator. So this will actually be here at the bottom. Okay. And then we'll just need to import our message, our icon. So let's just image. So we'll need the image there as well. In this case, the image is success.png. Okay, and then we'll also need the styling for our image. Just paste that in there. And lastly, we'll have text, which will just have our props dot, what did we name it? Success message. Okay. And what else should we have? What else? Okay, I think that should be it. Am I missing anything else? Oh, text styling. Okay, this will change to success message. Let's copy that and paste it in. Okay, let's see. So Joey test already exists. Okay, the email is badly formatted, and then if I use a different email, let's say example2, sign up. Okay, nothing changed. Let's see if our user actually was created, and it was. So let's see what the issue was. Is loading true. Success message equals to, okay, let's see. Oh, okay. So I see here our prop, the naming is incorrect. We don't actually have a prop called whatever that is. Let me just copy this and paste it there. So as you can see, it was a naming error. Then if we just go back, okay, so it's now correct. And we need to obviously display that, hide this. So to do that, we'll need a function here called close, success. Okay, let's just create this function separately. I think it should be fine actually. Let's say close. Okay, so we'll need to disable two things. So firstly, is loading needs to be set to false, or if in this case this already is there. So firstly, is loading will be false. So to hide this as well, we just need to change success message and make it an empty string. Set success message to empty. And then we can just call this method here. Or maybe let's just do this. Okay. And then on backdrop press. Okay, that's when we have our function called props.close. Okay. Okay, let's try example 3. What happened there? Oh. Okay, example 4. It keeps closing on its own. Or let's just pass set success message. Okay. Okay. Let's see if that works. Okay, user is already exists. Okay, there we go. Your account has been created, and then back. So I guess this on backdrop method for our success message actually needs to be a method in its own, so that we actually clear the form here when the user clicks the on backdrop press. Okay, and that should be it for now. I guess next up will be further cleaning up the form and then adding the same functionality to our sign-in.